Watch and burn.
Hey everybody! So tonight I am looking to discuss DC Talk's massively successful 1995 album. And for anybody that knows, of course, you probably do know that's why you clicked on the thumbnail. That is, of course, Jesus Freak. And I think, oh man, I mean, DC Talk really pulled something massive off here because usually with Christian bands, they don't first off ever aspire to achieve success in the secular world. But even if they do attempt to find success in the secular world, usually it doesn't pan out. It's always seen that Christian bands were less. They were less cool. They were less talented. They were less this, less that than secular bands. Like, well, in 1995, I would argue that bands like Rancid and The Offspring, as well as what was left of Nirvana, they were dominating in the mainstream or the secular rock world. And they were cool. The Christian bands were not. And I mean, Christian bands have a long history, like, of coming up with some really good music. Like, off the top of my head, I'd say Petra. They have a bunch of records with a bunch of absolutely killer songs. Michael W. Smith with Wired for Sound, and Rocket Town is another couple awesome songs coming from the world of Christian music. But this is, I don't know, this record's amazing because I was in high school at this point, and for them to end up on Much Music, like the single for Jesus Freak was in mid-rotation on Much Music. And I heard the song, and the song just like kicks so much ass. Like Jesus Freak, the title track, is absolutely badass. And it's got that sort of grungy, sort of Nirvana thump to it. And it's working in aspects sorry, of rap rock, which this point wasn't going to really jump off for a number of years until bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit sort of took that to the forefront of secular music. But they did. DC Talk did it perfectly here with the track Jesus Freak. But that being said, Jesus Freak is my absolute favorite song on here. But that isn't to say that off the top of my head, let's see, what else do I have here? I have Day by Day was amazing. Jesus Freak, of course, like I just talked about. In the Light was amazing. Like It, Love It, Need It was wicked too. But that's not to say that the other tracks on here, like So Help Me God or Colored People, don't sound like 90s rock perfection. And this album was certified double platinum back then. And if I'm not mistaken, I think like 5 or 6 of the record's singles charted. 2 of them charted on Billboard. One of them was Jesus Freak. And, oh, I can't remember the name of the other one. But there were 2 songs that charted on Billboard, and then the additional tracks that they released as singles all charted on Christian radio. This record, like I said, it shifted 2 million units, which is not only a massive feat for a Christian band like DC Talk, but 2 million units sold is a big deal for any band from any walk of music. So they really managed to do something that's, I think, pretty much never been done, hadn't been done before, and I don't think it had been done since. This is just about the most influentially, like, significant Christian rock record ever made. And this record is amazing. Like, it's catchy, it's fun, it's memorable, the artwork is rad, the video for Jesus Freak is cool and sort of scary. And I like how they managed to take, like, what, you know, the rest of us in the secular world would use as an insult for people who are into Christ, and Christians mainly. Everybody used to call them Jesus Freaks. And so they took that and they put a really positive spin on it because, you know, what are they going to do when they find out it's true, right? Like, so let people call me a Jesus freak. There ain't no denying the truth. And I really like that because it shows a lot of strength and a lot of integrity and a lot of character. I also, too, will quickly point out that for the 5 people in the world who remember this show, they were on Fire by Night, which was a late-night Christian show that didn't air in a lot of places. I'm not even sure how I saw it way back when, because it was only airing locally wherever it was being done, somewhere in the States. It was hosted by Blaine Bartel, And in the middle, they had this fantastic little family sitcom called Family First, which I absolutely loved. Fire by Night was a lot of fun. DC Talk ended up being the focus of one of the entire episodes because DC Talk was like the biggest Christian band ever. And when they were on Fire by Night, I think they were on Fire by Night back in the late 80s or the very early 90s. So this record hadn't even, I'm not even sure if they'd written anything off this record yet, that things still had to be done because, like I said, I think they were on Fire by Night in like at best 90 or 91. So this record wouldn't be released until the mid-90s, but it's still cool that DC Talk is on Fire by Night for anybody that cares. I'm pretty sure it's up on YouTube. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description, but I usually forget to put things in the description that I say I will in the videos. So yeah, so that is it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little shy of 6 minutes while I discuss DC Talk's massively successful 1995 album. And that, of course, is Jesus Freak. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But most importantly, please don't forget that the world is actually a better place because you are in it. I am going to go because I am getting incredibly hot. Have a good night.